Hey, welcome back, poker friends. Get on the discussion of the three bets. I know somewhat I've been overcalling it, but there has been exceptions to the rule where it's okay. So when you be calling three bets, it really needs to you really need to focus on the sizing. If they go over 10 big blinds like 12.5 or even greater, you got to be folding a lot more from the button and the cutoff, and your range is a bit lighter. And then when their range is a bit tighter. But anyway, and so I should be folding those spots. So what was happening was I'd be calling those spots when I'm a bit tired or overplaying or a little bit tilted. I'd be over calling, and when you have a range or your hands are basically pretty much got low equity, going to be doing a ton of fit and fold poker, and that's just never great. So whenever you're in a spot where you got a low equity hand, you probably should be fighting pre-flop. You want to have hands that can continue on the flop and build momentum towards the turn and rivers. But yeah, what I was doing was calling too wide, but that doesn't mean I've been calling too much from three betting. So you can call a little bit wider from in position, opposed to out of position as well. So I just needed to adjust a little bit there with my ranges. And I did notice what happened was some of the tables had full of regs or a lot of tags, like tight aggressive players. So what was happening was their ranges were really tight, and when I was playing a little bit loosey goosey, opening up a little bit too wide, I was getting a lot dominated in the tables. So two things that could happen when I do that is either a leave the table, which is probably pretty smart because if you're just not the great player at the table, just leave the table, or just adjust your range, and that's fine as well. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. It's not all clear cut. Whenever someone says, what should you do when in three bet table, it's not going to be as basic as just saying, all right, you should do that. It's going to be, it depends. And also stack sizes as well. So the deeper the stacks, the wider you can call. Just a couple of things I'll be looking at too is looking at overpaired boards on dynamic boards opposed to dry boards as well. All right, so we can do a lot of check raising here with the aces. Few bets here again. When the two queens pair up on the board, so this is an example of where I want to make more money. So if I bet on the flop or on the turn, he's just going to fold out a lot of these weaker pocket pairs. So now we can just bet there, but he's going to fold anyway. But just going to hope our opponent catches up, not overtakes. But yeah, Jack comes out. Hopefully, his King Jack calls the river instead of just isolating yourself against the queen there. King Jack just misses everything pretty much. All right, so that's an area where I've been focusing on. And funny enough, with your overpairs, especially on boards where you get overpairs, your lower overpairs, like when it goes 8-8-2 or something like that, and your jacks or queens, your tens probably would have bet a lot more opposed on the flop opposed to your aces and kings. So something I haven't probably been doing as much has been not checking enough with my overpairs and been isolating myself against sets. So that's something that's really been hurting. So that's two things that have been hurting is one, not adjusting to, three bet calling. Not that three bet calling is bad or anything. It's just that it's just been hurting. We've got an open ender here. We could check raises one. Maybe bet strong on the river as well, depending on scare cards as well. On missed cards, like an ace comes out. Just shove this one. We missed it, but okay. He had the one hand he'll call with, but you can't just go narrow-minded there. He had the one hand that we didn't like, but at the same time, what other hands wouldn't he call with? We would have been up against a lot of pocket pairs. Probably would have folded. Sometimes we'll actually make the hands and actually do the same, and we get called off. It's not the end of the world. It's just one hand. And that's why it's funny when, when someone hits a set on you and they laugh at the other person laughs at you, they're just not looking at the overall scheme of things. They're just focusing on just that single hand where they're not looking at the whole, your whole range, what you'll be doing. So aces, get stuck sometimes against a set. But what happens if that same player's got kings or queens or jacks that are over pairs as well? Probably missed a value bet with the jack nine there. Probably over talking, so that's fine. Anyway, hopefully you guys understood that. Also, the plan going forward to still collecting points, still at 41. Want to get 6,000. Also, funny thing is, oh, actually, I got $4 for 10 and L to play with, so that was a $4 bonus. So we'll have to make it back. This is where I'm going to call free bet. All right, now we do have a 5 and we can get a straight. We should be good. Got a lot of post-flop potential here. Never totally dominated just with the ace itself. The king's not a great card for us. We can go for a free card though. Or we can go for a bet. All right, now we hit the straight and the trap is set. If he's got ace king, he might shove. I'm just going to shove here and see what he does. We could do this with bluffs as well. That's the beautiful thing. And if he thinks that we're just weak, he might actually just call down with queens or jacks as well. The only other way we could play there as well, if we don't want to do the jam there, we could also, what can we also do? We could also min bet and adjust the bluff. Maybe he's got a set of kings, think about the other things. He might have aces there. So he'd probably call with the aces. He'd probably call with the king. And, if he thinks that we're getting out of line, queens and jacks all the way down, I reckon he'd call with. But then some players will lay down queens, jacks, and tens, and they're the players then you can probably exploit the most. People that are overfolding. I've got an open end, I could call. We were out of position. We should have check raised that one. It's not terrible though. Yeah, we could have actually done the fold with a check raise. We'll call. Not a bad card for us. We need to raise though. All right, this guy could have a 2 in his range. He could also have ace, jack, ace 10, all that stuff. We're going to bet here. Hopefully he calls down with an ace. No, not sure. So he's thinking about it. But all right, we have a gut shot. He's low stacked though. All right, we'll open up with queens. Gonna be a short session. So hopefully, top set, beautiful. Hoping he catches up. All right, we need to bet this one. Hopefully he's got a king. Got some back doors, but unfortunately missed. Got an ace though. Can't afford another diamond coming out. Don't think anyone's got a king. There is a 3-way pot. A tidying range should be folding a lot more. But we could have the best hands here still. We could still have queens, jacks, and tens around. That might call a slight little bet. Although we could be value betting ourselves. I think I'm going to throw a little bet in. All right, ace raise gone. We could check raise with king 9. We've got a monster hand. Monster draw. Monster draw. A bit of raise at large. Oh, claw 6-5. All right, hit a 6. All right, this is going to jam all turns. We could just over jam there. That's fine as well, I think. There you go. I told you they'll overcall with pocket pairs there. Hey, folded ace king. Beautiful. Oof. And he left the table. Ace four. Wow, we're still beating him, I think. Yeah, nice. But yeah, it's pretty important to find those little bets, isn't there? Like that's what one of the advices I got was try and thin value a bit more. Definitely need to focus on that. So there's a few little angles I need to be looking at. Queen six is going to go. We don't really have any great cards after that. All right, so three bet. It's a low three bet. We're going to call. All right, so we've got a backdoors. We've got backdoor flush, and we've got a little bit of equity. A lot of good turn cards coming, so we have to call. All right, calling. It's a jack. Continuing on with queen 10. All right, perfect. Now we're going to bet the jack. What could he have? I'm going to bet small though. I don't think he's got a monster of a hand, so king jack's folding. Opponent's going to have heaps in his range there that kills us. He had a range advantage against us because remember he didn't 3-bet free, which means all the low cards hit his range. So he's got a range advantage. And at the end of the day, we've just got to pair with that okay kicker, who probably has high equity. He's either got a straight two pair or a set, or, you don't think he's going to be betting there with a weaker jack, that's for sure. But never say never. So there's people out there will do anything. Oh, it's a backdoor. I'm going to call one more. 3-bet ace jack. We'll complete ace full, but high alert. We'll bluff the king. It's a small pot, plus he didn't really base too much. All right, I'm going to overbet ace four. They might call with the diamond. King 10, hit a 10. Remember, got two pair, which is good, but four on the river. Good call one more. Didn't really improve. Like, we're either still way behind to a queen. All right, got a C bet with ace 10. We'll continue with king 10, but if he gets another call, I think we can safely let go of this one. I think we're just way behind here. I think there's a queen too many times. Just trying to get that river, that amazing river, but we got priced in, so why not? We have to let this go. And there will be bluffing 3 times in a multi-way pot. All right, now let go of ace 10. Same thing again. Hits his range a lot too. Ace king, no shame, just letting go. Didn't have a club. We're just calling here to keep the pot somewhat low. Now we have a flush draw and a straight draw. And missed everything, but it's fine. Low stack as well. King 8. All right, we got him. All right, call behind. Got a 4. 6 wins. All right, so we've got a pair of 5s and we've got a flush draw. So we're not going anywhere. We could raise as well, but I think just going behind, keeping everyone in the hand. Unfortunately, we missed, but we didn't spend too much to get there. And that's fine. Maybe he's going to misdraw. So that just tells you that tells you a couple of things there. I mean, if the spades come out, he was definitely be betting there. Maybe get stacks in. Also, if a straight come out, we might have been losing a bit there. And the last thing was, 5 comes out, we're not getting really paid at all. Because he only had a 6. So maybe we could have got him off the hand. All right, King Jack, 4, 7, 10 sort of hits him. All right, I'll raise it up out of position. All right, because the board paired up, it's going to be a lot harder for our opponents to hit. So we need to be doing a little bit more betting here to try and defend our hand. He hit the 6, wow. Hit behind Queen 10. We do have a flush draw here. And our ace, still good to call. Board's paired up as well. Is you just go ace high a lot of times, maybe? Let's bluff the river. Yeah, he's got to call and win this hand. Oh, aces. Wow. Okay. But I think that bet there is going to work some of the time, not all the time, especially against pocket pairs. I am really, really passive though. But that's sort of like the line. I probably need to go a bit more small, single paired hand. Don't be afraid to, win a small pot. It's big. I got to raise it and try and get stacks in. All right, he shot call. He's got an ace. He's got a call. Oh, the board's fucking paired. No, it doesn't. The board paired. Stupid. The board paired. I didn't realize the board paired with the 3s. Oh no. Embarrassing. Oh well, there's been worse things, but yeah, the board pairing. Wow, I had a bluff. Oh well. Sometimes we'll make a meal of it. And that's fine. We just go on to the next hand. We'll call. There's a lot of full houses here. I can't even bet this just in case he's got pocket pair. I have to call, I think, just to see. All I'm doing is hero calling. If he's hit anything or pairs, I've lost. There you go, lost. We knew the risk, but that's fine. All right, pocket aces. This is what I'm seeing. That's really weird. Also, one thing I did notice from 10 and L and 5 and L, 10 and L's got a lot more regulars. And it wasn't that long ago, we were struggling at 5 and L. Well, today it looks like we're struggling as well, but we're not really worried. We've got enough bankroll for 5 and L to go for a while, and I don't expect to be losing too much at 5 and L. Difference between this one, normal pot, and this, we're not that deep. I still don't mind getting stacks in. Uh, no, I'm gonna fold, but I'm not really happy about it. Yeah, the other thing we could do there is shove if we don't believe in. Probably should have shoved, I guess. Gave him the benefit of the doubt. Queen and 9 missed everything. Not great idea, but 8-7. I'll get a call. Need a 5 or a 7 or an 8. Not that though. All right, I'm gonna bluff at it. And he just snap calls. Wow, he's got aces. What's the chances? Anyway, that's variance for you. They're not always gonna have aces there. That's just the motive of today, it seems like. That's two bluffs that have failed. Ran into I didn't lose as much with the aces last time. It is what it is. We'll be at 2-L tomorrow. No, no, probably not. But what we'll do is plug away. Keep practicing the positions and work out what's working and what's not. And then just realize how quick it is to turn around. So today we're complaining. Tomorrow we'll be back at 10-0 possibly. You just never know. All right, we'll bet this one. We have kept the pot down. I'm going to bet this one. I'm going to monster with Jack and flush draw. Ace Jack, so missed. I just need to identify spots. All right, I'm going to raise. Let's see what he's doing. Able to get stacks in, I guess. All right, let's do it. Hopefully he hasn't got 2 reds. Okay, he's got jacks. Give me a red. Give me a red. No. Kind of stinks, doesn't it? Kind of stinks. We had 38. Good play. It's not really that great of a play. All right, so I got a gut shot. And we called it in position. All right, we're going to check behind. Now we've got a... I need a queen for King Jack. A lot of back doors at King 3. Need a 10, but no 10. All right, let it go. 3 river card. Now I have a king. We do beat queens and jacks here. He could easily have an ace, though. The way everything's been happening, he's got pocket aces. All right, ace queen. That's fine. With only a 9 big blinds, sometimes we got to be right there, but I guess we could easily find a fold. All right, so today's motive from what we're getting from our opponents is a lot of trophy play today. A lot of trophy play. And you go, oh no, that's not right. That's no good. But at the same time, we'll be back in 10-L. These guys will be still here wondering what's it all about. So I'm going to call one more. If we hit a 3 or a 2, we're loving it. But unfortunately missed. All right, top pair, dynamic board. All right, Jack's got a 3 bet. Terrible way to warm up, huh? All right, I'm going to bet Jacks here. Defend our hand against the overcards. Do we get three streets of value here? Remember he called pre-flop as well. It's not a bad card for us. No, I have to snap it, but he could have. Okay, fine. That is why you don't just instantly think you're folding everything. Most people, anyone that's watching this and playing enough, probably would have folded based on always being against aces lately. Well, you can't think that way. You need to think over the whole picture, or you would have folded there and lost even more. All right, in position, we call. Check behind. This is our range more. Call behind here. I think he's got a fold a lot. I don't think he's got anything here. He's saying he does, though. I've got a feeling, too, that, well, not a feeling, but his ace is going to be a lot stronger than ours. So even if we're bluffing or he's bluffing, we might not be able to beat it. And we're playing heads up now, too, which I don't really like. All right, we'll close the sevens. We'll complete 10-9 suited. Do have a lot of juicy cards coming on the turn. All right, hit the three, get over better. That is not one that we wanted. We just got to give up his hand. That's unfortunate. Okay. To have probably a bit wide with King Jack there. Need the board to pair up now and get a book. Please bet. Please bet. All right, we've got a book here. Gonna raise it up. Need to get value. He's going to call. The value from a six. Beautiful. Maybe that person thought that they had it better than us. Like they got an advantage over us. But that sort of put them in their place a little bit. And got a gut shot with King 5. Still the gut shot with King 5. Not going to bet at it. No showdown value with 9-8, so we're going to bet it. We have a position. Open ender. Now got third pair. Got to call with 9-8. All right, now we're going to open ended straight draw. Mr. King 5. Got to fold 9-8. Good fold, good fold. It's a tough fold. I want to call. I think we'd go about 30-something% equity there, but it's a spot where we want to be doing a lot of shoving ourselves, not calling. We want to be doing a lot of shoving, not calling with that hand, because the times that you do miss, you get folds as well. But when we're calling just shoves there, there's no real balance. You just could be imbalance. We'll bet kings. All right, doing a lot of checking at the moment. Ooh, hit the straight. Hopefully it bets into us, so we just raise. Not ace high. All right, get a bit small. Try and just go with small little pot. Hopefully he calls. Hopefully he raises with the jack. Hopefully he's playing a bit trappy with the jack. And do a bit of raising. A lot of re-raising. I find these little short sessions pretty deadly at times. We did have a really good session though. At 10-0, we went up to about 4-5 big blinds. One of our main goals will be just trying to just play poker and Just not overcomplicate it. We'll be focusing on different things at a time. We're going to get things wrong and right. We'll probably get more things wrong than right, but hopefully it doesn't cost us as much as when we do get it right. So, but at the moment, this session's not going as planned. We've had a few hiccups, so to speak, a few shoves that didn't seem to work for us. And that's fine. We'll just repair. I shouldn't have caught him with threes because he's going to have a huge chunk of equity if he hasn't already got the queen. Eight's not too bad for us if he's chasing. All right. Queen 10, not great for us, but we can call, I guess. I got a gut shot here. Unfortunate. If we got the gut shot, we could have got paid pretty well there. I think the gut shot's disguised. All right, we've hit third pair still. And just let go. Check raise with king 5. Multi-way pot here. I'm going to raise it up. There's going to be a few draws out there now. We'll just take it down. They could have been chasing a flush, but shut it down. Two bare hands, pretty good, but still need defending, especially with a terrible kicker as well. Now the board pairs up with a 6, we're in trouble. Anyone that's holding a king's already gonna have us out kicked. Supposedly you're supposed to do a lot of check raising with the paired board. I'm gonna test this out. And sevens was trying to get a diamond on the river, but we've failed. Pretty sticky with sevens here. A lot of cards come out. Good call. It's so long to call. All right, king. Good size bet, I guess. But when the bet's that small, you don't have to be right that many times. Same thing again. But this time we didn't really hit anything, so we're just going to let it go. Just work out. Just work out when we're no good. King 10's folding. Opposition 10-6 suitors. Not a great hand, but not a bad flop for us, though. Well, that's a monster draw with 8-5. This shoves all in. Easy fold. I got a bet 8-5. 10-6 missed, unfortunately, but it's a small pot. We're going to overbet the turn and then shove the river. Hopefully he works for us. Okay. Got a straight, so we'll not. Didn't call. Surprising. Very surprising. We did have it that time, though. And it's the one table we are winning on. So a 3-bet a lot. No information. We're going to fold. The only other thing we could do is 4-bet. Like 4-bet, but I don't recommend it against an unknown. And continue, but trying to go. All right, got a bet here, got a flush draw. Really gut shot. I'm going to 2 for ace full. Flush draw for 10-7. Not showing much strength. Ace high will beat us here, so we need to bet. Get off the hand. We don't really need to fight for those type of pots, but at the same time, if we can win a small pot at the time, we'll take it down. I got a fold ace 5. I was thinking of making a play with the 3-bet. All right, ace queen. He's playing with his chips, means he's got a mediocre hand. Backdoor flush with an open ender. Queen 6. I told you I had a mediocre hand. That's a tell. All right, overbet. Jack 10. Still got an open ender. Okay, he got a bet there with his draws on the turn. We'll soon find out. Yeah, there you go. He value bet himself on the turn. Perfect. All right, got pocket nines. Ace queen can't continue. Gonna fold. All right, got pocket nines here. Let's open up. The raids it up with 5-4 suited. Going to continue with nines. These jams all in. Okay, good on. All right, we'll check. 10 comes out, it'd be an interesting card. We get the 4. We get the straight, but I'm sure we both get the straight. So I'm going to let this go. There's going to be a lot of reverse implied odds for there, so I'm going to let that one go. Pretty gutsy if he's got like smaller pockets than us. Going to be calling a little bit wider from position though. 9-7 3-bets, but we're a little bit deeper. He 4-bets though, so we're going to let this one go. Still an ace. All right, checks here. Don't know if we can value bet this one. I'll palpitate again. All right, so we've hit a 3. Got the worst kicker in the world. This is probably the most easiest laydown that you can find. If we had 2 diamonds, we ain't letting that go. If it was 3-2 of diamonds, we'll be in that one. And then sometimes it's going to be probably trying to get a bigger flush. We might even be ahead some of the time if it's got like ace king suited or something like that. 2 overcards with the flush draw. All right, got 2 Bs. All right, go. Or one more, so we can get a sad, but probably let it go now. Interesting, he checks on the river though. I'm not gonna flush multi. It's gonna bluff multi-way pot. Decide not to. That would be pretty bad. Even though it's gonna be dominated there a lot, you're gonna just fold. Yeah, it's a 6 enough. I don't know. No, it's not. Okay, there's a lot of straight draws. We call one more. Does he check here? That's a lot of danger. That's a danger card. We're gonna bet it. That is a lot of. Oh, it was all in. Wow. I guess if it was deeper stacked, it makes more sense, but probably should not have made a play against the short stack. And technically, I should have made that call. All right, we're in position, got quads. Not snapping at it. I'm just trying to work out, just trying to make him think he's got in with a chance here. And that's an easy call. Yeah, got him. All right, we'll bet this one. Go straight. Didn't want to snap call. Just didn't want to snap calls with the quads there. So we got him good. We're happy with that one. That's funny enough. You know, you just got to remember, we got to value bet the jack of clubs there. Yeah, he's got the king cards. Maybe he should have found a raise. Flush draw. It's going to miss a lot of. Board pairing is going to be a lot harder for him to hit. But if he does hit, we're going to be finding out real quick. If he's got a king in mind, I didn't shove. I remember we've got 6 high as well. Any fold there is pretty good for us. Got shot. 9. We'll call 1, and then we'll let go now. Opposition with 4-7, another 3 bet. It was only a small 3 bet. We'll bluff this one. There you go. We need this is something I've been working on. We need to be doing a lot more raising and check raising with those paired boards. Obviously, we're going to run into issues when they do actually have it. And it probably won't work as much deep as when we're in 10 NL, 25 NL. That's if we make it to 25 NL at this rate. I'm going to call on more. We do bet ace, king, ace, queen. I don't think he's bluffing rivers. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right, we do have a straight with ace jack, but we do have a problem. Yeah, I just called here. I know it's bad call, but it's multi-way pot. We've hit a monster as well. Need a 2. I really want to hit a 2. We could also be very dead here as well. Just betting small. If they showed, if they called, they would have been surprised. Surprised they didn't call though. Well, I wonder what they've got. They're getting carried out of the way. Really getting carried out of the way. It's a regular as well. We'll be targeting the other guy as well. All right, good aces. I actually don't like that color for regular. I might have to make it a bit more brighter. I think I'll make them bright pink. It just stands out a little bit better. All right, kings. There is a benefit from playing a little bit wider as well. And then you're going to be losing a bit. If you're in position, people are going to be more likely to happy to play against you as well. All right, we'll free bet. We'll raise this one. Hopefully it just folds. Okay, so this time he didn't fold. So he's going to have a strong holding this time. Sometimes they don't. A straight draw, a 9 and a flush draw. So we're going to overbet this one. Try and build the pipe a little bit. If he raises it, we're still calling. All right, so with the flush. Hopefully he hasn't got a bigger flush. That would be disastrous. King high, flush with all for the river, but didn't get there. So he's saying he's got the flush. No, fair enough. We should have found a fold. We should have found the fold. People aren't that creative to be bluffing that often. Yeah, that was terrible. I should have folded that one. Hoping to get a 7 or an 8. Probably more of a 7. I should have so folded. The session wasn't great, but I was starting to repair, but making that call is just terrible. We're folding to Grinder. Fish, whatever his name was. All right. Apparently messing around, it seems. That's fine. It's fine to explore open ender. That's threes. I don't know if it's going to be good here. He's got King Queen. We're in front. Folding 10-5. It's very small. Could be valuing us to maybe he's got second pair or kings or queens. People do slow down on the flop when there's an overcard. All right, so at least we had 2 tables that are going well. I think we're down about $10 or $15 though. But you never know, we might be still at 12 there, at 10 there. Out of position, probably should not be. I really wish that was an 8. He did have a tell, but I think he's got us out kicked. Anyway, we're going to close it up. I'll be playing a bit later on and do another session. 150? Really? No, there you go. That got me worried there just for a minute. I was like, oh no, couldn't. So now 165. It's not that great. We've got a few callers in there. Really surprised we haven't got any C dollars yet. We did collect quite a few. I think it was about 30 big blinds last 24-hour period. So there is that. I'm very surprised we're not getting the C dollars coming in because we did have a lot of callers and I even pushed an extra session to try and get more, which we somewhat did. So it didn't really work in our favor that way. And what was the promo? Promo is, yeah, this, let's have a look here. We can find out where we're sitting at the moment. All right, so 15.2, it's still pretty decent. Seriously, we should be getting something soon. I really thought maybe there was not, it was not out of the, I wasn't out of the, off the table, thinking that we could be well into the 200s today. Unfortunately, not. It looks like we're still dropping back. Anyway, eventually we'll have to come to terms with things, and you know, I think still learning on different moves. I think some of the shoving sort of worked. I think calling there with the flush was clearly by worst the worst play we did. That was an easy fold. No one's ever shoving there with the total bluff in that spot. So unless they're a total fish, but you know, we just got to make sure. You know, 175,000 people currently is low. So there was going to be probably never going to be a bluff there. It's people aren't good enough or random enough to make those bluffs unless they're total fish and don't know what they're doing and just think you know, they just come back from watching the movie Rounders or something like that and they thought they could play. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the journey, even though at the moment it's downwards. See you guys. Bye.